On March 14, 1960, at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York, an extraordinary event took place, which, as everyone would agree, was in contradiction with human nature and any Hollywood script. On one of the hotel's upper floors, a senior Jew dressed in a presentable suit got out of his room and descended 2 stories down. He walked the long hall, his heart beating with excitement, his thoughts wandering to his family and people who were murdered by the Nazis in the Holocaust. He stood in front of a specific door, the number of which he knew in advance, took a deep breath, and knocked on it. Inside the room, there was an 84-year-old German citizen who was expecting the guest. Feeling uneasy, he approached the door, took a deep breath, and opened it. Both men looked at each other for several long seconds. And then, in a scenario that no one could have imagined previously, and many could not fathom even on that day, the Jew reached out his hand and said, "Hello, Sir Chancellor Adenauer." And the German, who carried a load of guilt that cannot be atoned, nodded and with gratitude reached out his own hand. "Thank you, Prime Minister Ben-Gurion." And so 15 years after the genocide of the Jewish people in Europe, the Prime Minister of Israel, a state founded to give shelter to the Jewish people, met with the leader of the state that annihilated 6 million of them. Now, dozens of journalists were waiting at the hotel lobby, and the news made it to the top headlines all around the world. It is not every day that 2 people with such great emotional abyss dividing them get to meet. Both leaders did not hurry to the lobby. They sat for 2 hours in Chancellor Konrad Adenauer's room having a conversation. Months later, Germany and Israel signed diplomatic ties. It must be noted that many on the Israeli and German sides strongly opposed this meeting. The trauma was fresh, the anger was deep, and many felt strongly about revenge. Germany was the devil, and many Israelis saw this new relationship as no less than pure blasphemy. But Ben-Gurion, like many true leaders who see the future, believed that establishing the relationship was a crucial act of courage, a necessary deed for a better future. Maxim Gorky said, "In the carriages of the past, you can't go anywhere." Had Ben-Gurion and the survivors forgotten the horrors and forgiven their murderers? No. But with the highest possible sensitivity, they put their past aside, into a backyard shed, if you will. The trauma, the skeletons in the closet, the memories, they left the shed door open so that the dead would know that they had not been forgotten and never would be. They begged them to understand that for the sake of a better future, for the sake of the next generations, for the sake of collective and individual mental health, it was necessary to move on. And I myself, who lost many relatives in the Holocaust, I am thankful to Ben-Gurion for his courage and wisdom, and see in this story proof that you can and must put even the greatest trauma aside and move on. And now I turn to you to ask, like Ben-Gurion and Adenauer, do you have the courage? The courage necessary to let go a part of your past? I invite you to join me to pass through a portal, an open door to the present as it should be, and the future as you always hoped it would be.